Hi everyone, it's Saturday, it's your girl Skylarkin, and I'm on a bit late tonight. Hope you've all had a lovely half term if you've had half term. Hi everyone that's joining on live and on the replay. So yeah, it's been half term, bank holiday. I hope you've all had a lovely week. It's been a really busy week for us. Yeah, just doing day trips, sorting things out around the house, sorting things out with the kids. Today we had a lovely football tournament from our 6-year-old and his team won. They didn't win the final game, but overall they won the whole tournament because of points with goals and stuff, so that was wicked. And then we've just come back from the cinema actually because I went and took the girls to see The Mermaid, and then Paul took the boys to see the new Spider-Man film. So yeah, we did get a bit divided by gender, even though some of the girls did want to see Spider-Man 2, but yeah, couldn't see both films at the same time. So yeah, I'm on here a bit late. I had football, I was gardening. Has anyone been out in the garden? I felt like the sun just whacked me, and then I was just completely just tired for the rest of the day. Yeah, Saturday, doing things around the house. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a nice chilled Sunday. I hope everyone else is as well. I'm looking forward to the kids to go back to school as well, actually, because yeah, there's too many holidays. I think they've put too many holidays in between the year for the children to be off. And it all just feels like, you know, with all the bank holidays and Easter and the half terms, it just feels too close. And I just feel like I need a bit of a break. So, yeah. Not working next week, so it would be nice to have just time for myself, which doesn't really happen much. I was going to have a conversation with someone this evening, and because what message I have that's been coming to me today is about things coming full circle, and we all go through things. Everyone goes through stuff in life that contributes to our journey, and I'm no exception. I've had my own issues that I've struggled with personally, and I've publicly spoken about my health over social media and with other charities that support cancer. And not everyone likes to talk about their struggles that they have, and that's okay. Everyone's got to deal with things in a way that's right for them. And sometimes you don't actually want to add more energy to that situation, but if you are going through something and you need support, then always reach out and talk to someone, or use social media to join groups and connect with people and projects to help yourself, and also unfollow anything that doesn't make you feel good. So I'm gonna have someone come on this live that's gonna talk about coming full circle in their journey, and we're gonna have a bit of a chat. So I hope you enjoy the conversation, and without further ado, I'm gonna invite the person. I know.
Evening. Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I've still got a bit of a bad throat. I've not been well this week, and I'm chilled because it's quiet in the house. But
Okay, yeah.
I'm just, so if you hear me like having a drink or something, it's because I've got a bad throat. How about you? How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a long day, but yeah, I'm good. Finally to get home. Been out since the morning, so yeah.
You're like me. You're like a busy bee.
Busy bee. Yeah, one thing next to the other. So yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And I just, for everyone that doesn't know you, would you like to introduce yourself and let people know a bit about you?
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Noel. Some pronounce me as Junior. Family, friends that know me close. It's a Jamaican pet name. I like to say Yeah, so sort of my journey, first generation Jamaican West Indian. So I'm a sibling of four, the baby at the four. So yeah, so my journey started really from, from the YMCA. So if people don't know the YMCA, it's not just a song, it's actually a global charity. Um, so I started as, being homeless. So that's sort of my journey from there. If you want to ask me questions.
Okay. Well, thank you, Noel, for introducing yourself. So I know from knowing about you that you've been involved with the YMCA
Yeah,
as a service user, and you were working at the YMCA for a very long time, and now you've gone
yeah,
to another um, charity, St Mungos. So you've
yeah,
been working in the sort of voluntary sector within homelessness and fitness for
yeah,
quite a
yeah.
long time. What are you doing there?
So at the St Mungos, again, it's another homeless charity. I think it's one of the leading ones currently at the moment. So I'm a project worker. So similar to like a support worker, you know, um, getting referrals from rough sleepers, helping them to build their case and supporting them from if it's just taking them to the GP or any mental health issues, supporting them with employment and just hence their skills as they're living in the hostel. So generally, from the first journey when they enter the hostel to helping them to move on, and then also outside St Mungo's volunteer for a youth organisation called 100 Black Men of London, which is started in the US in the 70s, which was an initiative to encourage black men. Obviously, in the 70s, it was quite tough for black men to, engage in society. So, a bit of leadership and mentoring. And then we have a London chapter which formed just over 20 years now. We just celebrated a couple of years ago our 20th year. Again, it focused on education, economic empowerment, health and wellness, and mentoring. So that's our four pillars that we just don't work with young people, but we work across the board from the African Caribbean community.
Thank you. So I've got some questions that I've written out.
Yeah.
So as you were younger and navigating your way through um, being homeless, did you have any like mentors or role models that helped you during that time?
Great question. I find I did have a great privilege, being young wasn't that easy, growing up in sort of East London, you always temptation to go left and opportunities like that. In terms of like homeless, I had a lot of my brother's friends because there's a big age gap with my siblings. So there's like for my sister's 18 years and my brother's 10 years. So I had, I would call my brother's friends like brothers. They were, the quote word elders that sort of, really tried to push me into, be the best I could. They were busy, but I had access to, phone calls and trying to coach me and say, Noel, you could do more. We're here to support you. I know we got busy in our own lives, but we're one full call away. So other as well, my mum's best friend, Camilla, she's a Nigerian. So even though I'm West Indian, I had a lot of African influence. I went to church on a Sunday and stuff like that. Religion was a big thing when I was growing up. So I think that helped me in terms of homeless because I had faith. I still can't have faith with, Christianity that, I prayed a lot as well and still to this day, I go to church when I can.
Thank you. I was actually just thinking about faith before we just came on here, and I know through a lot of what I've been through, faith has got me through. So I'm really pleased to hear that faith has helped you as well. It's a really powerful thing. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
If what kind of advice would you give to someone if someone, a young person, was to like find themselves homeless and in a situation where they didn't quite know what to do? like you were when you were younger?
It's a great question because, you know, when you're going through homelessness, and I know on my level was, you know, a lot of sofa surfing really is keeping that, you know, there are opportunities if you can get yourself access to a hostel and eat like straight away. You know, try to get somewhere where you can somewhere to stay. And then, you know, some hostels, you know, like big organizations that do have support workers. And when you're there, it's important that you engage with your support workers. That's what they're there. That's what they're paid for. This is where they can, you know, give you a baseline of, you know, giving you opportunities. And that could be just doing courses. You know, I think a lot when you're in a hostel setting, people don't want to work because, you know, obviously you might have to pay rent and it might be you're worse off. So I always say to people, coach yourself and go into courses, you know, developing your CV and do some volunteering as well, build up your resume. So I always say to people that is really trying to take step by step.
One baby step at a time.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, don't try and jump ahead and feel, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna be in this hostel, I'm gonna get my own place and that. It's about really finding who you are. I think what I did when I was in the hostel was really try to, you know, just learn the basic skills, making sure I'm paying rent on time, learning how to cook, look out to making sure my hygiene, looking after my room. It's then little steps like that that has a value. So when you do move on, you can implement it when you know, get your own place.
Do you think at that point of you when you left home that you was like you had all the skills you needed to be independent, or did you find that you learned a lot of it while you was out of the house?
Great question. I felt being West Indian, being having strict parents from the get go, is, you know, that, you know, doing your chores, doing the basics like that, I did have the skills, but then some skills I did have to learn is managing money. You know, when money comes in into account, you know, I was on benefits, you know, so I had to manage my money properly. So some skills like home skills I've learned, but money management I had to learn the hard way when I was moving in the hostel because it said you get access to money, there's a lot of temptation because it's there. So it's being about discipline. So yeah, I think I learned a lot as well.
I really like what you said there because that reminds me of a few situations when I was younger and I got hold of money and I didn't probably spend it in the right
Yeah,
way.
you know.
You know, and like for example, when I got my first student loan, I think I went on holiday. Like I was so silly.
Yeah.
But you know, the things that we do, and quite interestingly, I was away this holiday, like this half term with a friend, and her son is the same age as one of my daughters, and what she allows him to like order stuff when he's at the restaurant or
Yeah.
when he's at like on a plane or something, and then he has his own little card and he uses it, and I think that's so good to create that kind of independence and just thought processes as in to spend money and how to ask for things and yeah, it just taught me something having, you know, as many kids as I do, that you know there are things that we can learn from each other, and financial literacy is really important at a young age. So
100%.
yeah,
100%.
and I know exactly what you mean, like paying rent, paying, you know, for food and stuff when you don't have much to begin with. Because for people that don't know, I was homeless to begin with when I first found myself pregnant with my first son.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. Like people see you and they see where you are and they don't see the journey. You know, they don't see that you might have, I don't know, slept on the floor for 2 years, or you might have had windowing for blinds and stuff like that. They don't
Yeah.
see all of that. But, you know, we get through by, you know, for me it was the people around me, like what you had. You mentioned you had someone at Connections that you're still in touch with. I
Yeah, so someone, yeah, so one night before when I, you know, I had that broken relationship with my dad, you know, I was sleeping in friends' houses and that, but I went to a place called Connections in Ilford. Don't exist there, but there was sort of like a place where you can access employment, but social housing. Um, shout out to Pip, was a social worker. I mean, probably she just saw like what I was going through and everything like that. She said, "Oh, you know what? I know a great place for you, like the YMCA you just." And I was like, I was a bit shocked because it's like I lived in East London, and at one point going into Essex was a bit like, wow, like I'm not too sure, but you know, I had, you know, that point in my life, and it was just me in a bag, so I had no one support. So I thought, you know, I've got nothing to lose, and yeah, that's how I sort of that connection really, you know, bring up to Pip, and I still have a messenger, and I always constant every month thank her and give her little updates and stuff like that, because you know she was a key point in my life. You know, she was like my last option, so I'm always grateful. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, big up to Pip.
100%. I feel that because I've been in different situations at different points of my life, and people that just come out with so much kindness that you'd never actually, you know, it's just so surprising, and just
Yeah,
it really kind of gives you, for me, it gives me a, what's that word when people say it gives you that thing about human nature again. It just makes you, you know, really, really grateful. Um, so what was the worst thing about being homeless, and what kept you going?
the worst thing of homeless is it takes you. Do you know what? It takes you like a constant low point because you really are on your own. Because people don't realize, you know, when you really on your own, there's a lot of thoughts go through your head, and you just start. And it's like it's a constant thinking: am I ever going to get at this situation? You know, I think I keep lucky. I was privileged where I was staying. There was a gym that helped me with my mental health because if I didn't have that, I don't know where I would be today. So it's constant being in a room and really like thinking, oh my God, what can I, what's, because even though you're in that situation, you don't know how to get out. Do you know what I mean? It's really like, oh, and if when you do have people, you feel embarrassed to reach out as well. And, you know, my biggest criticism is I always reach out to people that, oh yeah, are you okay? But at that point, no one's reaching out to me. So it was like, wow, I really don't have anyone. So it's a really dark place to be trying to get out of. You know what I mean? I was privileged to be in a situation where there is a gym facilities where I can just, if I'm stressed, I'm angry, I'm going to the gym. I just go to the gym like 3 times for the sake of it, just to get out of the room. People don't realize it was just, you know, just for me, it was that.
So that's what motivated you.
Yeah, just yeah,
Go.
it just motivated me because it was an excuse to get out of the room. If it was, you know, I used to set myself little challenges. You know, I'm gonna do 20 press-ups today, like just to get out of the. Do you know what I mean? And you know, from that, you know, my support worker, I realised, you know, Noel's going to the gym a lot, and he sort of said, "Oh, there was a bit of funding. Would you do a level 2 course?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And that's when I started to volunteer. You
Right.
know, and that's
So
how
that's
I
how you
build
got
up.
personal training.
Yeah, that's how I started the personal training because
Right.
I was going to the gym like 3 or 4 times a day, literally, because I was so struggling so much. It was a way to just like, okay, so my therapy. So I went to like, I was training a lot, and then yeah, that's how my support worker just recognized that okay, he's going to the gym. What can we do for it? And then I volunteered. So if you know my backstory, I was like the first resident to end up working in that organization. Well, so it was a building up momentum. And then like 2014, I won an award for my transition, being from a volunteer to like staff, and then my story was building from there. So that was sort of the momentum because as I was getting self-belief, opportunities were happening. So I came to saying yes to a lot of things.
Well done.
And then you know, um, after like 2016, there was like an international youth program called Change Agents, where all YMCAs around the world, all the young people from 18 to 30 would come together and do like a 2-year leadership, making sure, you know, you collaborate, learn about leadership, you travel around the world, you implement programs in your local YMCA. So you're sort of the next generation of leaders. So that was like amazing experience because like,
So you did that.
yeah, I did that. Yeah, so I was traveling. I mean, I think I visited about over 10 to 15 countries at one point, just traveling, representing the National YMCA, you know, doing public speaking, you know, getting involved in programs and stuff like that. So
What a proud
again, like,
achievement. How did you feel?
I was just, you know, when you're in it, like, it was just like, wow, like I was seeing so much as I'm visiting countries. I get to know about culture. I changed as a person because I've seen, you know, how different cultures were. You know, it's that, you know, I built a nice friendship with my wife's people. Like, I still talk to them to this day. We're in some WhatsApp group. We're all from different countries and stuff like that. So it was just an amazing experience. You know,
What
it
a
was just like, wow,
That is
yeah.
fantastic. I mean, I know from traveling, we see so much that we, you know, our worlds are just expanded by seeing, like you say, different cultures, how people are living, what's going on in different countries. And I think we can all learn from each other. And I know from having my interactions with the YMCA and still being in touch with people from the Ys, from going internationally to their conference as well, that it's just an amazing organization for one, and what is like the oldest charity
it's the oldest
in the
charity in the
country
world. Yeah,
and the world.
Yeah.
And it just does phenomenal work. So for me to hear that you was a change agent and you got all of that out from your experience it's really inspiring, and you should be really proud of yourself. And I'm proud to see that you have your own place now as well.
Yeah. And another story to that, it was I met a guy called Damien, and he was like he did like a workshop for us when I was a resident. So he called it the Job Club on a Friday. So he was part of the job centre, but he had his own little project. So every Friday with the IT residents, we used to come in from 10 to 2. But I was very consistent with it because I was like, I really want to get a job. I was like, and I think at one point I was like the only resident at the time was in this job club, and he just tapped me in the shoulder. He said, "Oh, Noel, you know, I see that you're working hard and stuff. But he said to me, if you like keep your head down, you get a place, but give me a call." But my East London mentality was like, whatever, what are you talking about? So whatever, I said, he gave me his number, but he was actually a property investor.
Okay.
So he was a property investor. He said, "Oh, give me a call, whatever." 2 years later now, I've moved on, got my own place now, as a council property. So I called him. I said, "David, you remember what you said to me 2 years ago?" I said, "You know, you said you're going to sort it out." I said, yeah. Call this guy. So I called him. He was a financial advisor. And then, he said, "You know what? You know, you can't work." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, we can, if you do the right to buy scheme, and then, like, you know, you could apply for it." I said, I applied for it. And within a year, process for a mortgage on, So that from the YMCA, just be working hard, it made me show me that, you know, if you work hard, you know, people come into your life and they recognize you for who you are. And that was a good lesson for me because, you know, because I was consistent and doing stuff for the job club and that and attending, it made that person come to me and realize, you know, this person is hungry and stuff like that. It's a lot of things, little gems like that from my journey I've meet across, and they've helped me because, you know, the YMCA definitely changed my mindset of how I look at things as well. So big up to David for that. I tell a lot of people that story that him just being there, he just recognized me and saying, "You know what, this guy, you know, he really wants it." And just, you know, a couple years later, he helped me out.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it just feels so good, right? Because I know the day I bought my council flat, I just felt amazing. So, you know, well done.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say, and you know, onwards and upwards with you.
Yeah, definitely, you know, because it's like I'm the first at the four to own one, and it was nice, you know what I mean? Because it said, you know, things didn't work out, you know. Obviously, I didn't end up, you know, wasn't the first time I was homeless, you know, when I was a bit more younger, you know, family, we all broke up and I didn't have the family home, so I moved with my dad as well. So to miss that again twice and think, you know what, I promised myself I'm never going to be in this situation again. You know, I used to watch shows like Under the Hammer. I was thinking that's going to be me one day. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to have my own. So it was definitely achievement for me because I was thinking, third time, it ain't going to happen to me. It ain't never going to happen to me.
How did your relationship pan out with your family after you sort of left the house, I left home? Because I know with me, when I left, I had I had like mediation classes with my mum, so we could like get on the same page. How did you build your relationship with your family?
I think, you know, it is. I think the distance did us good because it learned to appreciate it. Because I think the positive side allowed me to be a man because it made me distant for them and find me because I just felt I was just living with them, but I wasn't being me because I was under their rules. So I think, you know, I'm grateful for like me before my dad died, you know, for 10 years after that, you know, I was his carer and we had the best relationship, better than what we had when I was a bit more younger. So I think, you know, us separating and kind of proving him wrong that, you know, I'll be the man. Don't worry, I won't live with you, but I'll prove you wrong. But, you know, it happens. And, you know, to me, it's not a regret, you know, something I think, you know, it was needed, you know, and we got, you know, God rest his soul, you know, I could at least say, you know, before he went, I was a homeowner and he was so proud of that. When I showed him the paperwork, he was like, wow, he was telling all his friends, oh, my son's got his own place, da, da, da. So if he was achieved without me, so to me, it was a success at the end of the
I'm
day.
really glad you got to
You get to witness that, do you know what I mean? So that's still my, you know, my biggest achievement in terms of that as well. From, you know, I've seen my dad saw that.
That fills me with so much joy to hear that. Yeah, it's that must have been a moment for you as well, like a big moment.
Yeah, a massive. You know, it's to, you know, we go out to make our family proud. You know, I knew, like, you know, education wasn't for me, but I knew that I could make it, you know, for myself, you know, some capacity. And I still got a lot of dreams that I want to achieve. And I think, you know, him seeing that was just like, okay, you know.
The stepping stone.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah.
So tell me about your dreams. What are you hoping for long term? What would you like
to have, you know, establish my name, you know. One of the things I want to focus on, like, you know, my mum passed away when I was younger, is to diabetes. I know in the black community or the Bay community, it's such a one of the serious illnesses, and I'd love to, you know, to start a charity, well, to, you know, help, you know, in the community to, you know, to encourage better nutrition, you know, access to more health and more educated about the condition. Some charity I would definitely want an opportunity to create. Relaunch my podcast because I started it on lockdown, but I want to relaunch it. It's called BMC, so it stands for Big Man Conversation.
Okay.
It's a West Indian slogan, so it's focused on promoting black men who do great stuff in the community. So it's no celebrity, but community heroes, you know, entrepreneurs, business, you know, change that stigma that, you know, black men don't do much. It's just that positive mindset. Something I've always, you know, I've had, you know, great black men around me and they do great stuff, but it doesn't get talked about, it doesn't get shown. I think it's a market in the podcast industry doesn't really get looked at. It's more the celebrities or the general chit chat, but want something that the content gives people other platform. So it's, even though I will create it, but it gives people to, you know, come in and showcase what they do. You know, if it's just getting funding, sponsors, I could be the door to open that.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. So and as I said to you before, my other half's happy to talk about what he does on
That'd
your
be
podcast.
amazing. Yeah,
So,
I'll add him into the list, definitely. Yeah, so I'll find a studio and stuff like that. And yeah, get into the property game as well. I need to find something like a mentor because it's not easy to crack. I've been doing my studying and stuff, but you know, again, it's just be entrepreneur and be like I said, get the Noel Willis name out there and really, you know, encouraging others like myself to really encourage the next generation to, you know,
well, if there's any
inspire.
property people watching this,
Yeah, link me, send me a DM,
link up with
everything.
Noel,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Noel would love that support. I just have one home because I have so many children, so I'm not on that. But
yeah,
I'm sure there's people out here that are watching this that can
yeah,
like link up with you and support you. I'm really proud because you talked to me a little bit at the beginning about what you're doing with 100 Black men and mentoring and coaching
yeah,
young boys and men
yeah.
with that organization. So do you want to tell me a bit more about that and what
Yeah,
goes on?
so I'm currently mentoring, but I do have a leadership role is of the VP, so Vice President of Programs. So that's what like the board of directors. So we're one of the board of directors focused on the programs. So when we talk about programs, not just at events, but implementing programs to, you know, developing their skills, you know, just for young people and various stuff like that. So where I implement the program, it has to sit in with our 4 pillars that I spoke about earlier. So, you know, education, health and well-being, economic empowerment, and mentoring. So I implement programs based on that. So it's kind of American style where, you know, even though you're doing governance, you're still a director. So I manage that. So I manage the team leads and implement, you know, the programs as well.
And what do you do? Like meet weekly or in the holiday?
To me, it's like a second job. So I do like 40 hours. So it's literally constant meetings because said programs, everything in an organization. So I'm, you know, I have to meet, you know, weekly, every day, making sure things are running on my side of the organization, and just engaging with, you know, if it's just, you know, partners or events or collaborations, I'm involved because it goes through me, and I, you know, and then I you know, leads way with the president himself, president and CEO.
And how long's the organization been running?
So us as a chapter, just over 20 years, but the American chapter itself, where it started in New York, is since 1970s. So
And do you have like any events that you could plug on here, or how can people find out about the organization if they're interested? And where about, are they like different places that they meet, or is it
yeah, so we got so if you're a young person, 9 plus to 9 to 16, so we got a community program called community mentoring program. So it's every second Saturday, from 10 to 1:30. So we do like a mentoring program. So we do other, you know, we do topics not in the school curriculum. We've got our own topics that we talk about. So it could be mental health or leadership or money management. So if, you could bring a young person there. We do, I think it's the last Thursday, top of my head, we do a conversation talk called Time We Talked. So that's the issues in the Black community. So we invite experts that come in. You can listen to ask questions if it's like diabetes or prostate cancer. Just follow me because I've always promoted stuff. I do so much stuff. Yeah, and we have events as well, quarterly events like open days where you can come in, and if you want to do a bit of mentor, you can see what we do from top to bottom and see it of multiple teams. Because even though it's a mentoring, we do have different teams. You know, we've got marketing team, we've got, you know, operations team, we've got health and wellness team. So there's various teams you can get yourself involved with. So if you type in 100 Black men, if you follow me, I can direct you.
So for people that want to follow you, where can they find you? What's your hashtag?
So just the Instagram is a lot more easier. Just DM me, Noel Willis /25. yeah, just follow me and I can direct you and stuff, and I can direct to my podcast as well, because I haven't got a official website for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, send me the link. I'll put it in the bio here.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Yeah, just definitely follow us as 100 Black Men. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got a lot of events. We've got open day in August, and we've got various other events that will come up. I'm trying to roll off the top of my head, but yeah, we do a lot. We do a lot. And
you going away with them next week, or is
yes. So we got a yearly national conference at Las Vegas. But I'm going to Atlanta first with the Atlanta chapter. So from 8th to the 20th, I've been going to Atlanta. Then I go to Las Vegas, and we have a conference that all the chapters get invited to. Like, so it's a 4-day event where, you know, we do workshops, networking. You know, celebrities might come and do a talk. So it's a very empowering event. You know, there's so many established African Caribbean community there. We come together and really, you know, develop and hopefully bring back to our chapter and really try to grow. So it's amazing.
I love that, and I can't wait to see what you bring back when you come back and what you share and yeah, and
definitely be a part 2. Yeah, definitely a part 2. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for spending your Saturday evening, the tail end of your Saturday evening, sharing a bit about your journey. I really appreciate it. Really, really proud to see where you are and where you're headed. And for anyone that wants to follow Noel, please do so. I'm going to put his contact details here in the bio. And thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you as well.
And I'll catch you soon.